Nobody writes history about the people who quit. Nobody tells stories about the ones who played it safe. Legends are not born, they are made in the shadows, built through scars, and remembered because they refused to break. Right now, you may feel like life has knocked you down. Maybe you've lost everything, your confidence, your drive, your hope. But listen to me, this is not where your story ends. This is the moment before the comeback, the moment that separates the forgotten from the unforgettable. You see, the world isn't waiting for your excuses. The world is waiting for your rise. The world is waiting for you to stand back up, to roar so loud that the pain, the failure, the doubt, they all bow down to the fire inside you. I know it hurts. I know it feels heavy, but the weight you carry now will become the strength that carries you later. Every tear, every sleepless night, every time you felt like giving up, it's all fuel. Use it, burn it, turn it into the greatest comeback anyone has ever seen, because the truth is simple. Your name deserves to echo in eternity. Your name deserves to stand for something bigger than failure, bigger than fear, bigger than the life you thought you lost. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The perfect time is now. The perfect person is you, and the perfect reason is that you refuse to be forgotten. Write your name in the sky. Engrave it in the hearts of those who said you couldn't. Make the world remember you, not for what broke you, but for what you became after it tried. This is your time, your comeback, your legacy. The world will remember your name. Now go make sure they never forget it. ***, legends aren't born. They're made through pain and perseverance. Every great name you know today was once just another person, facing the same doubts, fears, and failures you're feeling right now. But they chose to keep going when everything around them told them to stop. They chose to rise when life tried to bury them, and because of that, the world remembers them. You see, greatness isn't handed to anyone. It's forged in silence, in the moments when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one believes in you. It's in those moments that champions are made. Every failure you faced was not there to destroy you. It was there to build you, to sharpen you, to strip away your weakness and reveal the power you didn't even know you had. But here's the truth. Most people quit before they find that power. Most people stop because pain feels too heavy, the struggle feels too long, and the doubt feels too real. But legends, they endure it all. They take every hit, every loss, every scar, and they keep moving forward. They turn their setbacks into fuel and their pain into purpose. That's why they can't be forgotten. Because when the world told them they couldn't, they showed that they could. When life knocked them to their knees, they refused to stay down. And when everyone else walked away, they decided to fight one more round. So I ask you, what will you do with your pain? Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? Will you let this moment be the reason you quit, or the reason you rise so high that the world can't ignore you? The choice is yours right now, in this very second, because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you your victory. You have to fight for it. You have to claim it, and when you do, the world will not just see your name. They will remember it, and they will remember it because you refused to quit when it was hardest to keep going, because you decided to become more than your circumstances, because you understood that legends are never born by chance, they are created by choice, your fight, your relentless, unstoppable, unbreakable will to win, and this is where that legend begins. The world remembers those who rise, not those who quit. History is filled with names that stood tall when everything around them tried to push them down. The names we celebrate today belong to people who refused to stay on the ground. They faced failure. They faced ridicule. They faced nights where doubt screamed louder than hope. But they got back up anyway. They kept fighting when no one believed in them. They kept moving when everyone else stopped, and because of that, the world remembers them. But look deeper, because their journey wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy. It was messy. It was painful. They failed far more times than they succeeded. They fell so many times that most people would have stayed down and given up. But they didn't. They chose to rise again and again until they became unstoppable. That's what separates the remembered from the forgotten. It's not luck. It's not talent alone. It's resilience. It's the strength to rise even when you don't see a reason to, even when your body aches and your mind whispers, to quit even when you are surrounded by silence and no one is cheering for you. Those who rise understand something powerful. They know that quitting guarantees defeat, but rising, no matter how many times, gives you another chance to win. The world doesn't care how many times you fall. It only cares about the time you get back up and keep going. No one talks about the ones who gave up halfway. No one writes about the ones who stopped chasing their dream because it got hard, because that story ends there. But the ones who refuse to quit, they're the ones who inspire. They're the ones who change lives. They're the ones whose names echo long after they're gone. So when you're on the edge of quitting, when your heart feels heavy and your fight feels gone, remember this. Every time you rise, you're writing your name into history. Every time you push back against failure, you're proving that you are stronger than the struggle, and every time you refuse to quit, you are separating yourself from the crowd of those who will be forgotten. The world remembers those who rise, not those who quit. So rise now. Rise with everything you have left. Rise even if you're trembling, even if you're tired, even if you don't know how. Because the moment you choose to rise again, the world begins to take notice, and that moment could be the one that defines you forever. Every setback is the setup for the greatest comeback. Every time life knocks you down, it's not to end you. It's to teach you, to prepare you, to shape you into someone stronger than you were before. Think about it. Every champion you admire, every legend you look up to, they all faced setbacks. They all fell. They all failed. But instead of letting those moments destroy them, they turned them into fuel. They used their setbacks as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks, and that's why they became great. You see, setbacks are not the end of the road. They are part of the journey. They are the moments that test you, break you down, and strip away everything that's weak. Because only then can you rebuild yourself into something unshakable, something unstoppable, something that cannot be broken again. When you're in the middle of a setback, it's hard to see beyond the pain. It feels like everything is falling apart, like there's no way forward, like you've lost too much to ever recover. But that is when you need to remember this truth. The greater the setback, the greater the comeback. The deeper the struggle, the more powerful the rise. The heavier the fall, the louder the victory when you stand again. Don't run from your setbacks. Don't hide from your failures. Face them. Learn from them. Let them mold you into someone who cannot be defeated, because every time you rise from a fall, you come back stronger. Every time you refuse to quit, you gain power that no one can take from you, and one day that comeback will be so big, so undeniable, that the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to stand and watch. Your comeback story will inspire those who are ready to give up. It will remind them that nothing is over unless you choose to quit. So if you've fallen, get back up. If you've failed, try again. If you've lost, fight harder. Your comeback is waiting, but it needs you to keep moving forward. It needs you to believe that where you are now is not where you will stay. You're not finished. Your story isn't over. This setback is simply the setup for something greater than you can imagine, something powerful, something lasting, something that will prove to everyone, including yourself, that nothing can keep you down. Every setback is the setup for the greatest comeback. Your current struggles are fuel for future strength. Every difficulty you are facing right now is shaping you into someone far more powerful than you were yesterday. The pain you feel today is not here to destroy you. It is here to prepare you for what's coming next. Struggle is not a punishment, it is a teacher. And if you are willing to endure it, to learn from it, to grow through it, it will give you strength that comfort never could. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, the ones who never seem to break no matter what life throws at them. Do you think they became that strong by avoiding hardship? No. They became that strong because they faced battles, they faced storms, and they kept walking forward even when everything inside them screamed to stop. Every sleepless night you survive, every disappointment you rise from, every obstacle you push through is building something unshakable inside you. You might not see it right now. It might just feel like endless pain, endless struggle, endless pressure. But there will come a day when you look back and realize that this season of hardship was the foundation for your greatness. Without struggle, there is no growth. Without pain, there is no resilience. Without resistance, there is no strength. Your challenges are sculpting you, shaping you, preparing you for opportunity and victories you can't even see yet. So don't run from them, don't curse them, don't waste them, use them. Let your struggle light a fire inside you. Let it push you to train harder, work smarter, fight longer, and believe deeper. Let it build a version of you that fear can't control and failure can't defeat. Life is giving you the tools to handle the victories you've been asking for. But those tools don't come wrapped in comfort. They come wrapped in struggle. They come through challenges that force you to grow stronger than you thought possible. And the more you endure now, the more unstoppable you will be later. Your future self will thank you for refusing to give up today, for using every ounce of pain as energy, for turning every setback into drive, for turning every weakness into power, because the fight you are in right now is not just about surviving this moment. It is about building the strength to conquer every moment that comes after it. Your current struggles are fuel for future strength. Excuses don't make history, courage does. No one remembers the reasons someone gave for not trying. No one talks about the people who almost did something great but decided to stop because it was too hard, too risky, or too inconvenient. History doesn't record excuses. It records actions. It records the ones who stood up even when they were scared. It records the ones who pushed forward even when they didn't know if they would win. It records those who had every reason to quit but chose courage instead. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward in spite of it. It is making the decision to step into the unknown, to risk failure, to face criticism, and to do it anyway. Because without that, there is no progress, there is no discovery, there is no story worth telling. Every person you admire, every name that lives on through history, had moments where fear tried to control them. They had doubts, they had obstacles, they had failures, but they refused to let those things define them. They refused to let excuses win. Instead, they took that fear and turned it into fuel. They took those obstacles and used them as stepping stones. They took every failure and treated it as a lesson instead of a reason to give up. That is what courage looks like. It's not glamorous in the beginning. It's hard. It's lonely. It's filled with setbacks, late nights, and moments where you question everything. But courage is what allows you to push through those moments when most people stop. And that's why those who have courage become the ones who are remembered. They are remembered not because they had perfect circumstances, but because they took action regardless of the circumstances. You have that same choice right now. You can continue making excuses about why it's too late, why it's too hard, why it's not the right time, or you can decide to move forward anyway. You can decide to write your name into history, not with words, but with actions that can't be ignored. Every excuse you let go of opens the door to a new opportunity. Every excuse you refuse to accept strengthens your resolve, and every courageous step you take builds a story that someone else will tell long after you're gone. So don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Don't wait for someone to give you permission. Start now. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Do it even when you don't feel ready, because excuses don't make history. Courage does. You already have everything inside you to become unforgettable, everything you need to rise, break through, to make an impact that lasts far beyond your lifetime is already within you. It's not something you have to wait for. It's not something you have to search for in the outside world. It's not hidden in a book, a course, or in someone else's approval. It's in you, right now. But the reason most people never become unforgettable is because they never learn to unlock what's already there. They let fear bury it. They let doubt silence it. They let other people's opinions control it. And slowly, they forget what they were capable of in the first place. But deep down, you haven't lost it. You can feel it. That fire, that dream that refuses to die no matter how many times life tries to crush it. That whisper inside your heart that keeps saying, "You're meant for more than this." That's not an accident. That's not random. That's your potential waiting to be unleashed. The question is, will you listen to it? Will you give it a chance to break through all the noise of fear and hesitation? Because if you do, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed to wait for someone to give you permission. You never needed to wait for the perfect time, the perfect resources, or the perfect situation. You were already equipped from the moment you started dreaming. You have strength that hasn't been tested yet. You have resilience that hasn't been challenged enough to reveal how deep it goes. You have ideas, gifts, and talents that can change lives, including your own, but none of it matters unless you decide to act. You can't just know it's there, you have to use it. You have to take risks, make moves, and step into the unknown even when you're scared. That's how you discover who you really are. That's how you prove to yourself that you are far more capable than you ever imagined. And when you do that, when you refuse to stay average, when you refuse to bury what makes you unique, that's when you become unforgettable, not because everything was easy, not because everything was handed to you, but because you dug deep, tapped into what was already inside you, and refused to stop until the world saw it too. You already have everything inside you to become unforgettable. Pain is temporary, but legacy is forever. The hurt you feel right now, the weight pressing down on you, the struggle that feels endless, it will pass. It will not last forever, no matter how heavy it feels, no matter how overwhelming it seems. Pain is always temporary. But what you choose to do in the middle of that pain, that choice will live on long after the moment fades. That choice becomes your legacy, and that legacy can't be erased. Think about every great story you've ever heard, every name that inspires you, every figure who is remembered long after they're gone. Do you think they lived without pain? Do you think their journey was easy, smooth, or without struggle? Of course not. They went through trials that would have broken most people. They faced obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. They endured moments where quitting felt like the only option, but they didn't quit. They didn't run from the pain. They didn't let it decide who they would become. Instead, they kept moving forward through it, and because of that, they built something greater than themselves. They built a legacy. Your pain right now might feel pointless, but it's not. It is carving out the strength you will need to achieve something far beyond this moment. It is shaping the story that will inspire someone else who is ready to give up. But you have to endure it long enough to let it transform you. Pain is like fire. It burns, it hurts, but it also refines. It removes what is weak and leaves only what is strong enough to last. That strength is what you carry forward. That strength is what allows you to create something that stands long after you're gone. Most people give up in the middle of pain because they forget that the reward is on the other side. They forget that every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every drop of sweat is building something that will outlive them. Your struggle can create something timeless if you refuse to give up. A moment of pain is worth a lifetime of pride. A few hours of struggle is worth a story that will inspire generations. When the pain fades, and it always does, you will be left with only two things: the regret of quitting or the pride of pushing through. Which one do you want to carry? Pain is temporary, but legacy is forever. Your name deserves to be associated with greatness, not defeat. When people hear your name, they should think of strength, resilience, and determination, not of someone who gave up when things got hard, not of someone who settled for less than they were capable of. You were not put here to live a life of surrender. You were built for more than just surviving. You were built to create, to rise, to inspire, to show what is possible when someone refuses to quit. But that choice is yours. Right now, every action you take is writing a story next to your name. Every decision you make is adding meaning to how you will be remembered. And one day, people will talk about you. They will tell a story when they speak your name. The only question is, what story will it be? Will it be the story of someone who faced challenges and quit, or the story of someone who faced those same challenges and refused to be defeated? Your name is your legacy. It carries weight. It carries meaning. It is something that will live on far beyond your time here, and you have the power to decide what that meaning will be. But it won't happen by accident. You can't expect greatness to attach itself to your name if you don't fight for it. You can't expect respect if you don't earn it through discipline, perseverance, and the courage to keep moving when everyone else stops. Defeat is easy. Anyone can quit. Anyone can back down when life gets heavy, but greatness, that requires something rare. It requires standing back up after every fall. It requires moving forward when you have nothing left but one more step. It requires fighting battles no one else can see, and refusing to lose even when everything around you says it's over. You have that in you. You have everything it takes to turn your name into something unforgettable, but it starts with a decision to stop settling for average, a decision to stop allowing fear and failure to define who you are, a decision to live in such a way that when your name is spoken, people feel something. Pride, inspiration, hope. Your name deserves that. Your name deserves to be associated with greatness, not defeat. Don't wait for the perfect time. The time is now. How many dreams have been buried because someone was waiting for the right moment? How many lives have ended with regret because they kept saying tomorrow, next month, next year? The truth is, there is no perfect time. There never has been. There never will be. Waiting for everything to line up perfectly is nothing more than an excuse to delay your potential. You think you're waiting for the right opportunity, but what you're really doing is losing time you'll never get back. You think you're preparing, but preparation without action is just procrastination in disguise. Every day you hesitate is a day lost forever, and the dream that burns inside you is counting on you to move now, not when you feel ready, not when fear is gone, not when the path is clear, now, because action creates clarity, movement creates momentum. You don't need all the answers to start. You just need the courage to take the first step. Look back at your life for a moment. How many chances did you miss because you were waiting for everything to be perfect? How many times did you let fear convince you to stand still while someone else took the leap? And what did it cost you? Not just opportunities, not just success, but the confidence you could have built, the strength you could have gained, and the life you could have created. You have to stop waiting. Stop waiting for more money, more support, more confidence, more time. You will never have more time than you have right now. You will never have a better moment than the one in front of you. It's not about being ready. It's about deciding that you're Dreams are worth more than your fears, deciding that your future is worth more than your excuses, deciding that even if you fail, you'll fail moving forward instead of standing still. That's how every great achievement begins, not with a perfect plan, not with all the resources in place, but with one decision to start right now. So stop waiting, start building, start moving, start chasing that thing you can't stop thinking about. Because if you don't, you'll look back one day and realize you had everything you needed all along, except the courage to act when it mattered most. Don't wait for the perfect time, the time is now. Make the world remember you for your resilience, not your failure. Failure happens to everyone. It is not unique to you. It is not a sign that you are weak or incapable. It is simply part of the journey toward success. But what defines you is not the failure itself. It is how you respond to it. Some people allow failure to become their identity. They stop trying, they stop believing, they stop fighting because they think one setback means the end. But those who are remembered, those whose names carry weight long after they're gone, are the ones who refuse to let failure be the final chapter. They took every defeat and turned it into fuel. They took every rejection and used it as motivation. They faced every setback and asked themselves, how do I rise again? And that is why they are remembered for their resilience, because resilience is power. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to get knocked down and still stand tall, to take hit after hit and keep moving forward. Resilience is not about never falling. It is about never staying down. And when the world sees someone who refuses to be broken, that story inspires more than any easy victory ever could. People don't remember those who had everything handed to them. They remember the ones who fought for it. They remember the ones who faced impossible odds and came back stronger. Remember the ones who refused to give up even when it would have been easier to quit. You have that same choice. Right now, you can let your failures define you, or you can let your resilience build you. You can let this moment be the end, or you can make it the turning point, because every comeback begins with one decision to rise, not when things are easy, not when the world is cheering for you, but when no one is watching and nothing seems to be working. That is when resilience is born, and that resilience will carry you further than talent, luck, or opportunity ever could. One day people will tell your story. What do you want them to say? That you fell and stayed down, or that you fell and got back up so many times that nothing could stop you? Make the world remember you for your resilience, not your failure. Here's a strong closing you can use to wrap up that speech. Naturally and powerfully, so rise one more time, stand tall one more time, push forward one more time, because the moment you refuse to stay down is the moment your story changes forever. Let them talk about your strength. Let them tell the story of how you refuse to break. Make sure when your name is spoken, it echoes with power, determination, and victory. Make the world remember you for your resilience, not your failure.